Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast, and today it is a 2 vs 2 on Basalt Basin. It is the Warcraft 3 ArenaNet replay of the week. And our first team is the brown undead player Shaitan, and our purple night elf player BaM, versus the other team, our pink undead player Eredin, and our teal undead player Modulo1works. And we're going to go ahead and speed this on up till all the heroes come out and all the good stuff happens. So a pretty interesting matchup here. Undead and undead versus undead and night elf. So we'll see how this goes. Looks like a crypt lord coming out for our teal undead player. And now we will slow it on down. We have the keeper of the grove for our night elf player. Moving on over to the undead base pretty quickly here. And does not look like he's gotten a hero just yet. And gonna get a tavern hero instead. And already going after one of those acolytes there. The Entangle taking that out. Now 4/5 income for our pink undead player. And we have a Panda Brewmaster for the undead player. And of course the Death Knight for our brown undead player. And Keeper of the Grove here is getting rushed by some ghouls. Moving right to his base right off the bat here. And trying to get his wisps away as fast as possible here so he doesn't lose too many of these. And scooting them around the map. Trying to juke around that Panda Brewmaster. Dispels one of them all over that Brewmaster. Takes some mana away. And now the Keeper of the Grove moving in on those ghouls. The Entangle, even level 1 Entangle, will last quite a while on ghouls. And pretty much just going to one-shot ghouls almost as their health is so low. And now the brown undead player comes to the rescue. And a teal undead player also has a Panda Brewmaster as well. Decided to cancel his Crypt Lord by the looks of it. Now going after that Tree of Life, taking it out, almost taking it out here. Half health on that Tree of Life, doing huge damage, and Entangle's coming out as fast as possible here for our Keeper of the Grove. And that Night Elf base is in trouble here, and this is one hell of a rush. And almost gonna lose this. Is he gonna lose this? And loses his Tree of Life right off the bat. What an amazing rush. And now the two Panda Brewmasters trying to get out of there. And Panda Brewmaster almost gonna, nope, not gonna escape that Entangle. Finishes him off there along with that Death Knight. And saying it just needs 100 gold there to rebuild his Tree of Life and start again. What a very, very interesting rush indeed. And now they can pretty much go to the base here. And he's constructing that Halls of the Dead. And it's gonna be a while till that's up. So you can actually take out some of these acolytes. When you take out the acolytes of an undead player, when the Halls of the Dead is being upgraded there, or the Black Citadel for that matter, it really, really hurts the undead as you simply just either have to cancel it or just go without any acolytes for a little while. And now moving up onto the base here, Huntress and a Keeper of the Grove, the only things really for the Night Elf player right now. Now going after that Graveyard. We'll finish this off pretty quickly here. And is he going to cancel that? And doesn't, maybe, perhaps cancel that. Didn't really notice. And now trying to go after these acolytes. They're all the way in the corner. They're stuck pretty well. Now the Painted Brewmaster comes out and going right after that Crypt Fiend. And Keeper of the Grove has enough mana for an Entangle, and I'd like to see him Entangle one of those acolytes there and take it out. To at least leave his opponent a little bit crippled, but now he's just focused on trying to get out of there without getting completely surrounded, and takes the long way around there. Have to go around the rocks and the trees. And now with just ghouls out on the map here, they will die pretty quickly here and feed their opponents. So now an Entangle goes off on that Brewmaster and takes a little bit of damage from that, but doesn't last quite as long on heroes. And those Crypt Fiends doing huge damage. Going to lose a ghoul here. A little bit of extra experience for our Night Elf undead team. And Brewmaster's just fighting away here, and Crypt Fiend's trying to get back there. About a half health on that Crypt Fiend. Gonna lose. Yep, gonna get it out of there. And now the Panda Brewmaster stays back just for a moment. Only 200 health left on him. And Death Knight leading the charge here. It hasn't suffered too much damage. He's fighting on Blight too, so he's actually regenerating pretty quickly here. And the Panda Brewmaster's not really taking advantage of that Blight because they're not undead. So it's pretty decent to for the brown undead player here to fight against his opponents. He has a huge advantage while fighting at their base and just regenerating so quickly And now it looked like the Panda Brewmaster going back to the Night Elf base and going right after that Tree of Life again, perhaps. Except there is an Ancient Protector here in the way this time, although it's not going to do too much. It's going right after that Entangled Gold Mine. Going to try and take this out here. Loses 2 Wisps there. Should cancel these for now. And going to lose this Entangled Gold Mine as well. Going to have to re-entangle that. Crypt Fiend very, very low. 46 health on that Crypt Fiend. And now the Ancient Protector has uprooted itself, but was quite unnecessary. Would have thought that would have been probably a better situation just to remain rooted. And now going to eat some trees there for some health.
Upgrade complete.
And now firing away back at the Panda Brewmaster. Panda Brewmaster had a little bit of trouble here. Could easily get surrounded here if those Crypt Fiends would have just placed themselves right here. Wouldn't have been able to get out nearly as easily. And but does lose that Crypt Fiend, or that Panda Brewmaster. And now the Keeper of the Grove takes himself a Ghoul's life. And re-entangling that gold mine. And does not have any funds. 13. That's all he has. And looks like he received some from his opponent, or from his ally, rather. And now Keeper of Grove moving across the map and going after the Teal Undead player, but he has quite a bit of Gargoyles in. Gargoyles going to do some decent damage here to those Huntresses, as they can't hit them in the first place, and they do piercing damage. And I'd like to see if our Undead player has the web or not, and if he does, that would certainly be a good thing against all these Gargoyles. Could take those out pretty quickly. And so we'll see what happens here. Gonna keep those Gargoyles back just a bit. Doesn't really want to engage those Crypt Fiends and find out for himself. And a Lich now for the second hero for our Undead player. And now the Brewmaster going back to the Night Elf base again. And going to try and take out that gold mine again, but it has been completed this time around. And as long as he keeps that Ancient Protector rooted, it should be a little bit more useful. And a Gargoyle, will a Gargoyle make it out or not? Nope, not going to make it out. And looks like our brown Undead player has received a little bit of lumber. I'm just backing out a little bit there. And now going after the Night Elf player again. Here comes a Goblin Sapper. Does pretty big damage all over that Tree of Life. And haven't seen a Goblin Sapper in quite a while, actually. And now the Panda Brewmaster is entangled and a little bit of trouble. Does have a Scroll Town portal just in case. Now going after that Tree of Life with these ghouls, but that's simply just not going to be enough. And Breath of Fire takes out both of the ghouls. And Panda Brewmaster may fall here if he just doesn't Scroll Town portal out of here. And he does Town portal out. And Tree of Life badly damaged, down to 78 life.
Our forces are under attack.
And there's a pun for you. The Tree of Life has no life. Get it? I'm sorry. And now the Crypt here may fall, and will fall before the Ghoul gets out of there. Now going after the Halls of the Dead. And annoying cold beam blast hitting that Death Knight over and over, but he's just going to soak up the damage because he can pretty much... Is he actually out regenerating it? It looks like he's almost out regenerating it. It's like taking down a little bit of his health. So loses a Brewmaster there. And so far, I think that's the third Brewmaster death in the game so far. And so Brewmaster's dying quite a bit. And now the Lich... Oh, now he needs a TP back to base here. He has a Goblin Shredder going right after the Tree of Life. And the Panda Brewmaster now going after. Going to lose his Tree of Life again. And going to teleport out of there. And going to lose a one Ghoul, so not worth it at all. Needs another loan here. Gold and wood from his ally again. And wow, I don't think I've ever seen a Tree of Life fall so many times since 1966. And now the Halls of the Dead in trouble again. And Crypt Fiend's going after it. And these Gargoyles can do nothing. As soon as they go out to attack, he's just going to lose those Gargoyles. Going to get webbed and going to lose them pretty quickly. That was a pretty fail. Breath of Fire. He must have thought that they were going to be a little bit closer by the time he breathed. And certainly was not the case. And not a lot of creeping going on this game either. And normally I like to follow the heroes as they creep to see what kind of items they get. And pretty much no creeping. We have Gloves of Haste on the Brewmaster there. And now taking huge damage here from that Frost Nova and that Death Coil at once. And now the Brewmaster in a little bit of trouble, but the Huntress blocking the Death Knight here. He needs to get out of there. And there he goes. Unblocks pretty well. Loses a Huntress though, but it looks like he was lost to the Halls of the Dead, so that no experience to those heroes. You do not get experience when you kill a unit with a tower. And so much freezing. All the Nerubian Tower, the Spirit Tower, and the Halls of the Dead just blasting away as soon as they get close there. Huntress a little bit too close. Ooh, and Brewmaster taking big damage there, but they moved away just for a moment, so that may actually give him... oh, is he going to fall? Loses that Brewmaster. So even more experience to our Night Elf and Undead heroes. Lich now level 2. Just formed level 2. Must have got that from the death of the Brewmaster there. And now moving up to some creeps here. Going to creep the Gargantuan Sea Turtle and the Red Drake. This is one hell of a creep camp here. And is he just going to get the Fountain of Life? No, he's actually going to creep it here. He's going to go after the Giant Sea Turtle first. And going to web that Red Drake. That will fall pretty easily here. And here comes the Teal Undead player. And Tome of Knowledge drops, and looks like the Lich picks that up. It's a little bit of additional intelligence, agility, and strength for that Lich. Gargantuan Sea Turtle going to fall soon here, and Potion of Greater Healing, which is not too bad either. So, not the greatest items from that camp, but not the worst either. Potion of Greater Healing will certainly do the trick, especially on a Death Knight, as he's regenerating so much. Hard to kill in the first place, and then he pops a Potion of Greater Healing. And now the Brewmaster going after the Ogre Magic camp here, so we have 2 creeping going on at once. And we'll see what kind of items drop for these players. And Claws of Attack +6 on that Painter Brewmaster, not too bad. And I believe a Tome will probably drop from that High Priest. And a Scroll of Healing bot from that Goblin Merchant. And I did not see what else had dropped. And now the Brown Undead player going back after the Undead player, his Undead opponent. A Huntress still Shadow Melded there for some excellent scouting. And now here come the Acolytes once more, and they deserve a Frost Nova to the face. And is it going to come? He has 320 mana. Perhaps he's just saving it for heroes, which would probably be the better bet, but it's always so fun to Frost Nova peons and peasants and such. And there it goes, the Frost Nova now, and takes out all of the Acolytes. No more Acolytes to repair here. So this Halls of the Dead should fall. And now the town under attack here from his opponent, from all these gargoyles now blasting away at the Acolytes. So losing all of his Acolytes of his own here. And he got 4 of them out there, only lost 1. And going to take out that Halls of the Dead first, and now going after the rest of the base. And here comes the pink Undead player going after the Night Elf base again, and now the Ancient of Wars has been surrounded here by the Tree of Life, so now tons of damage are going to be coming. If he just cancels these Ancient of War will be blasting away at these ghouls and skeletal minions, and teleports back to his base.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
And didn't actually see that. I would have liked to have seen that. Nobody teleports. The Teal player teleports to his opponent, as he simply couldn't teleport back to his own base because he doesn't have a Halls of the Dead. And now trying to repair this building up here. And this is a pretty good idea, having the Ancient of Wars so close, as now when the ghouls get in there, they're just going to bash them away. And that Ancient of the Protector doing a pretty good job here, going to finish off of that ghoul there. And now just the Painter Brewmaster, but he does have a Scroll Town portal, so just in case he can get out of there. Breath of Fires that Tree of Life one last time. There's a little bit of damage, but I suppose an unnecessary one, because if you're not going to destroy it, then you're just simply not going to destroy it.
Summoning is complete.
And now tons of gargoyles here all over the Tree of Life again. And now teleporting to his base, but he can simply just get these ghouls out, or these gargoyles out of there. The majority of them, or some of them, have been webbed, and now still going after that Tree of Life. And even more have been webbed, and losing even more gargoyles. And only left with, what, 4 there out of 8 or 9 of them that was in original. And it gets netted by the Murloc camp there. How unfortunate. And gonna get out of there with just a little bit of damage, though. And this Night Elf player has received the brunt of the attacks the entire game. Other than that one up here, but that wasn't so bad. And a Wand of Illusion has dropped. Not too bad of an item there. Can be useful. Tome of Strength dropped as well. Gonna get that on his Lich, or on his Death Knight. And now the Night Elf player moving across the map, chasing down that Brewmaster. And he's saying tangle the Acolytes here. And back at the teal base. And he's gonna go do just that. And now our Undead player going after another creep camp by the looks of it, and he's going to use Wand of Illusion to scout out his pink opponent a little bit there. And now here comes the Night Elf player, going to try and tangle the Acolyte there. And there he goes, gets one of them, and that should be pretty much enough. As long as he's got rank 2, I believe, will take out an Acolyte entirely. 220 health, not too much there. And that Illusion has discovered that Frost Worms are being created there by the pink player, but with all of these Fiends, not too easy. Indeed, Fiends. Easy. And we'll see what dropped here. Looks like a Claws of Attack plus 9 dropped. And I would like to see that on the Lich. That's always a better bet on the ranged character because they typically attack more. But to each his own there. And now 2 Frostworms and Gargoyles chasing after the Night Elf player. And he bails it out of there as fast as possible. Illusion is defeated. And now going after the Boneyard there. And down to a quarter health, and we'll definitely finish this off before his opponent gets there. And Frostworm down here now.
Our forces are under attack.
Unfortunately, there's so many Fiends here for those Frostworms to deal with, and if those Fiends get a hold of that, it's going to be one long lost Frostworm. And now going after that Frostworm, Frost Nova lands on the Frostworm and does a little bit of damage there, and he's going to try and teleport out of here, and does not finish it off in time. Well, that was so close, 13 health. On that Frostworm, if he would have just waited just a scotch longer, he would have gotten himself a Frostworm kill, which would probably have been worth it, just considering they cost so much there. And now it looks like both of the players perhaps are going after the Night Elf again, or going to use the Fountain of Health here for a little bit. And Frostworm's so damaged. 28 health left. Fountain of Health healing up those Frostworms again, and we'll see what items dropped here. It looks like a Scroll of the Beast dropped from that location, which is sold a lot of the time, but it could be useful in this particular case. But may end up selling that Scroll of Healing. No, gonna keep that Scroll of the Beast this time around. And now that Necropolis is definitely not gonna make it here. He has a Shade here just chilling in the teal base, keeping an eye on all that. And now teleporting back to his allies base, and does not finish off the Necropolis again. He teleports a little bit too early, and he's just not finishing off what he's really focusing on, which I suppose is okay, because you can always go back there to that Necropolis anyway, and it's keeping one Acolyte on that Necropolis the whole time there. And now big battle going on here. The Frostworms falling very quickly to all these Crypt Fiends here, and there goes a second one. I think that's at least 2 that have fallen so far, and these 2 Pandered Brewmasters just flaming all over these Fiends though, which is the problem here. With 2 Brewmasters, the amount of Breath of Fire is going off is pretty crazy, and a Lich falls there to the Pandered Brewmaster, and now not too much left here for the Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends very low, and the Brewmaster's doing just fine. All of them pretty decent on health, and Keeper of the Grove can entangle twice right now with the amount of mana he has, or by the time he can entangle a second time, he will have the mana. And hits one of those ghouls there. Ghoul will fall now. Death Knight now moving around the corner and going after the weak ghouls there, and just collecting the experience from those weak ghouls and easy kills. And now surrounding one of these pandas here. And not going to last too long. Keeper of the Grove in a little bit of trouble, but there are some Moonwells nearby, so not too big of a deal there.
The sleeper awakes.
And still pumping out 2 by 2 Crypt Fiends, or not just one. He just only has 1 Crypt there. And And now still trying to go after this Brewmaster. And when is he going to entangle? There it goes. And there goes a potion of greater healing, I believe. And now gives that Scroll Town portal to his ally. And now the pink panda is in a little bit of trouble here, getting chased by an entire army. And now that Keeper of the Grove damaged. And going to entangle. Now down to about half health. I think that this panda will survive, though. But he's going to take a lot of damage in the process.
Our
Now panda moving over to his undead player. Undead opponent. Oh, just going to the Goblin Merchant there. Looks like buying just a Staff of Teleportation. Now both sides heading back out towards their bases here. And Painted Brewmaster very, very low.
The sleeper awakes.
And a couple statues here for our undead player healing up. And both of them are on mana, which is not the recommended practice there. And one of them was switched.
Upgrade.
And Painted Brewmaster back at full health there. Looks like he used a Fountain of Health. And our pink undead player looks like he's expanding here. And what is that item that has been dropped? And I can't seem to click on it until these units are out of the way. And it looks like a Parrot of Vitality, which is always a good item, particularly on a Painted Brewmaster there. And now he has 1175 health. So that is one pretty strong and sturdy Brewmaster. And that expansion going up there for our undead player. And both of our other players need to expand as well, as all of the gold mines have collapsed, except for the Night Elf player, because he simply hasn't been mining all that long because of his Tree of Life there falls over and over and over. And this expansion has been spotted. And our undead Night Elf player has been spotted here. Takes out 4 Wisp there in 1 Breath of Fire. And now going off to that Brewmaster. And now the Keeper of the Grove trying to get away. And gonna teleport out of there. And not really lose too much there. Destroyer has been created. Keeper of the Grove using up the last of his Moonwells there. Only has a few anyway. And now moving back out. And that expansion is going pretty strong here. 4/5 of the potential. But no other player has an expansion currently. And now the battle begins here between all these players, and huge Breath of Fire goes down on all those units there, all of them so low. 1 hit pretty much killed. And we have a Scroll Protection going off, which is slightly unusual. And there goes one of the Frostworms. And these units are falling like crazy to these Brewmasters. That Breath of Fire is so up, and especially 2 of them at once. And now the Undead Night Elf army is in full retreat here. Keeper of the Grove stops at the Goblin Merchant, but unfortunately that wasn't the best decision. Going to lose this Keeper of the Grove now. And went to buy some Boots of Speed by the looks of it, and simply was not the best decision. To actually got himself stuck by his own archer there. And now chasing the brown undead player back to his base. Meanwhile, the pink undead player going to the Night Elf base. And that Keeper of the Grove has a long time to go. And unfortunately, very... oh, maybe the Altar of Elders will not be destroyed. And now the brown undead player trying to get away here. And Lich is going to get surrounded here by ghouls and should just go back the other way. It could have just went back down. Should have probably been the easier bet there. And the Lich trying to get away here. Still trying to get surrounded. And is he going to get away or not? And there he goes. Over that Earth, Wind, and Fire, doing lots of damage. And lots of gold being supplied here from his Night Elf player, the only player with a gold mine other than this expansion here. And now selling off some of his property there, mortgaging some of his property for additional troops.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
And coming down to the purple player's base to help this out. And the Altar of Elders is not gonna make it here. And Keeper of the Grove will not be leaving. And BaM leaves the game. Our purple Night Elf player leaves the game, as he simply just didn't have anything left there. He could have at least given him all of his resources before he did so. But either way, don't think it's going to be enough here. Those two Brewmasters, once you get a couple Brewmasters there, level 6 plus, it's just simply just not going to be enough. Another pair of Vitality there as it dropped. And the other Brewmaster picks it up this time, so both of them very, very high health. Not going to go after this Dark Wizard camp. 2 Ogre Lords and a Troll High Priest in the back there. Potion of Restoration drops and is picked up by one of the Brewmasters there. And gets it to his ally. And a Rune of Healing also on the ground there as well. Heals up some of those units. And now going after this Mud Golem. Lush Knoll Overseer camp takes that out. Potion of Healing.
Our brethren's town is under attack. Our brethren need assistance.
And now going to take out his opponent's, or his allies' camp here with the Pink Undead player going after that Tree of Life. Going to take that out pretty quickly here and going to try and defend, but really doesn't have too much to defend here. Just has 3 Crypt Fiends, and that's still not even enough to web each and every one of these Frostworms here. And now the Death Knight has been hit by that cold and is now in big trouble. Gonna lose that Death Knight there. Loses his Death Knight, and that looks like GG. Shaitan calls GG, leaving Eredin and Modulo1works our winners of the game today. It's a pretty good game. And here are the stats for you guys, just in case you wanted to see that. And I think just the Pandora Brewmaster, one of the best heroes in the game, easily. Once you get it so high, like such a high level, it's pretty much impossible to kill, particularly with Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you just bust Earth, Wind, and Fire and save one of the 3, then you don't die at all. So, very interesting game. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.